This is report anymore! You're the Scrum team. If you want to know what's going on, you come to the daily Scrum. Yeah? Sprint review. The inspector adapt loop, the feedback loop for the product increment. The daily Scrum is the feedback loop for the sprint backlog, the sprint plan. This is the feedback loop for the product. So at the end of the sprint, well, we've got our potentially shippable product increment, we want feedback from the stakeholders, we get them all in a room, or we get them all in one place, or we get them all online, and we show them the product increment that's just been built. Now again, Scrum doesn't say how you do this. Scrum says you need to get feedback from the stakeholders. An effective pattern, an effective way that works is show them the product increment that you've just built as a team. Show them what it does now. Discuss with them, was it what they expected to see? Could it be better? How could it be better? Is it actually something that they could consider using day to day now? So could they take a release now? We probably only should be reviewing the top of the product backlog with them. This is where we think we're going to the next direction that we're going to take, the next direction of travel for the product. Does this still align with your priorities? Here's the release plan we just prepared it coming out of the sprint. This is where we are now. We thought we'd be at this point. We're actually here. This is how the backlog's changed. This is how the team velocity changed. This is now what we're now predicting for the release. It's all about getting feedback about the product. Could we release sooner? Do we need to spend longer before we release?
It happens on the last day of the sprint.
It's on the last day, and this is the penultimate activity of the sprint.
You do this and go back.
This should be a natural progression of the team's work. The team are building a potentially shippable product increment. So they should actually be able to just go in. It's in a production-like environment. It's working software. It meets all the conditions of satisfaction. They should be able to show it to them. Show it to the stakeholders. Which means they shouldn't need to do any more preparation for it than deciding who's going to do what. About half an hour, regardless of the length of the sprint. One thing you don't do is use any PowerPoint slides. Except in one situation. There is one situation where you might need to use PowerPoint slides, but I don't think it applies to anyone in this room. Sorry? No? The only time you use PowerPoint slides in a sprint review is if you are the Microsoft PowerPoint development team. Because that's what your product influence is going to be. You don't use them any other time. But like with everything, when you try to have this dogmatic hard and fast rule, you never do this, there's always an exception. The development team just talk about what was not done, if anything was not done, and a brief explanation of why. But it's not a talking point. This is not there so that other stakeholders or managers can sit there and start critiquing the way the team work. This is just for information. This was our goal, we've achieved our goal, we thought we were going to do these three things as well. We only got two of them done, we couldn't get this done because we just didn't have time, we overcommitted. Now we're going to go away after this meeting, we're going to have a review of how we work as a team, and we're going to see how we can avoid that happening in the future. Yeah? We are going to look at ourselves and how we improve. So we don't need these helps. 1 hour per week of sprint is the time box for us. Now, I view that time box not as a hard and fast rule of Scrum. I view that time box as a guideline. Because if you're getting valuable feedback, and that's the purpose of the meeting, why would you stop it because the time was gone? It should never overrun by much, a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes at most. But if you're getting valuable feedback, that's what you're there for. This is the only chance in the sprint that you actually have a formal opportunity to sit there with the stakeholders. And all the stakeholders as a group.
Particular scenario is not thought through or particularly existed.
Yeah, then it's okay, then that's going to be something new that goes on the product backlog, and we will extend the product to do that in the future sprint. Yeah? You cannot expect expect the team to deliver against acceptance criteria that they've never heard. Because they can't. Yeah? They don't know about it, they can't build it. So that just goes on the product backlog. The product owner will prioritise it, the team will groom it, and it'll be done when it's done. Yeah? Any questions about the sprint review?
So the stakeholders, do they have visibility to the burnt out charts and other information as
The team might decide to take those in, Scrum doesn't say they have to have. They should have visibility throughout the sprint anyway, because we are open, we're transparent, and make our things visible.
This could be external as well, like pretty well look at your.
Now this is where organisational courage is needed. Because if you've got an external customer, it takes a lot of courage from an organisation to say we are going to expose the reality of what's going on to our customers. I've only ever known one organisation that would do that. Only one. They actually cited development teams in their customers' offices to co-locate the team with their users. The company itself provided the product owner, so that the customer wasn't driving the overall product direction, because they were going to sell it to other customers, so they maintained control of what the product did. But they actually cited 3 development teams in one customer site. And the visible information was about the whole program, not just the 3 teams that were in that site. So they saw the whole 6 or 7 products being developed at the same time. They saw all the visible information for all 6 or 7. Takes skills. As I say, like one organisation that I've found that I've ever seen will do that. Funnily enough, they're one organisation that I've worked with repeatedly, and I'm just about to start looking at things. They keep coming back to me because the CTO, who is actually now the vice president of product, has moved over to the US to work in the US part of the company, and he is an absolute fanatic about Scrum because he used to actually run his own software business, and he used Scrum, and he knows it works. So yeah, we might be idealists. There's enough of us around, and we make it work. Any other questions on the sprint review? Sprint retrospective, short structured workshop session for the team to look at how they improve. This is where the team consider their processes. Are their processes as good as they could be? Are their tools actually supporting them properly in those processes? Are there any relationship issues in the team? Relationship issues in the team? How are they actually fitting together? Did the team have any specific problems that they can address as a team? And, because most teams stop when they think about problems, do they have any other opportunities to get better? Are there experiments that they could try that could help them, that might help them get better?
The product owners participate.
Well, what do you think?
Test.
Optional. I think the product owner is also part of the team. I mean, it's the entire Scrum he's also creating the framework. So
Yeah, product owner should be there. Product owner is part of the Scrum team. This is the Scrum team improving. Product owners need to improve too. The product owners can learn, not just for Christmas. Sorry, there's bumper stickers of people, because in the past in the UK, people would get pets for Christmas and then abandon them when they found out how hard it was to look after them. So there used to be stickers of doggies for life, not just for Christmas. Product owners for life too. Although we've got housekeeping, they'll last well into the new year. Time box to an hour per week of sprint. Again, to me that's a guideline. This is about getting feedback, this is about learning, this is about improving. You don't stop just as an hour's run out. Esther Darby and Diana Larson have written the seminal work on retrospectives. It's called, surprisingly, Agile Retrospectives, with a secondary title, Making Good Teams Great.
So sprint review happens only once in a sprint, right?
Yeah.
And retrospective happens every week. Suppose we have a sprint of 3 weeks.
No, retrospective happens at the end of the sprint, after the sprint review. Scrum says it only has to happen at the end of the sprint, it's the last activity of the sprint. You can have all the retrospectives during the sprint if you've got specific issues and things that are going wrong. Don't wait till the end of the sprint to address them. Have a very, very focused
There's very
retrospective.
little difference between review and
Well, it is, because the review is all about the product. This is about the team and how they work. They've got completely different focuses. They're completely different meetings. Sprint review is all about, this is the product we have now. This is what product we think we're going to build next. Is that the right thing to do? This is about how, now as a team, this is how we did things in the last sprint. Can we do things better? Can we be better as a team?
This can be an optional activity.
No. No. None of Scrum is optional. That's not using Scrum. And in fact, one of the bad smells that you find in retrospectives is when the team said they'll say, we don't need a retrospective. That's the first indication that the first thing that team need is a retrospective. Because if they think they can't get any better, they've got nothing to learn. They need to learn, not they can always get better.
I've seen another, they want retrospective just to blame each other or try
Yeah,
to
and again,
ensure that.
no blame,
the
no
branches
personal
are-
comments. It needs to be what we call a safe environment. That means everyone needs to be willing to talk, and there should be no judgment of what's said. There should be a belief when people go into a retrospective that everyone on the team did the best job they possibly could with the skills, knowledge and experience that they had. So there is no blame. And yeah, I've seen blame in games in retrospectives. I saw one team where the whole team had an issue with the ScrumMaster. So I had some issues with her as well. My main issue with her was she spent the whole time going down to the team saying, yeah guys, you rock, you're brilliant, you're rock stars. The first sprint they delivered nothing, the second sprint they delivered nothing, the third sprint they delivered nothing, and she was still going down saying, you're all rock stars, you're brilliant. No you're not, you suck. You're terrible at this, you don't know how to deliver software. Stop telling them how good they are. Anyway, they sat in the retrospective and people were trying to be no blame, no personal comments. But it meant they were skirting around the issue. And at the end, one person just got totally fed up and said, oh, to hell with this, what if the problem's the ScrumMaster? Well, the ScrumMaster just got up, walked out the door in tears and never came back. That's what happens when you are blamed. One of our values is respect. So we find ways, non-personal ways to bring things up. And if you've got a problem with the ScrumMaster, don't wait till the retrospective. Go and speak to them one-to-one. If you've got a problem with anyone, don't wait till the retrospective. Go and speak to them one-to-one. Have the courage to address the problem. Yeah? So one of the bad smells of the daily Scrum, if the first time a ScrumMaster hears about an impediment that's in the daily Scrum, that's too late. You should be finding out about it as soon as it happens. And it should be being managed as soon as it happens.
Usually what I've seen in the perspective, the biggest problem they come across is when somebody starts and they're asking for help, the turnaround time by others in the team would be very less because they are into their items to complete.
But good teams support each other. So if I'm stuck, I expect everyone else in the team to help. Likewise, if that's now pushing somebody else a bit because they've helped me, I'm going to go and find out what I can do to help them. Good teams work together, they support each other. Yeah? If they're not finding time to support each other, maybe they're taking too much work in. Maybe it's actually not the fact that they're helping each other and actually working as a team is the problem. Maybe they're taking too much work in the first place. Maybe they don't understand the items well enough when they're taking them in the first place. Maybe they're not doing their proper backlog grooming as well as they could. Yeah? Lots of things can go wrong. Helping each other should not be seen as a problem by the team. That should be seen as a benefit. Talk in this retrospective about our planning. Let's not worry about anything else. Let's really see if we can sort out the problems in our planning. Once you've got the focus, gather the data. What happened that we want to look at? What data do we need to have to really be able to analyse what happened? What data do we need? Once you've got that data, what's it really telling you? What insights is it really giving you? What are the real problems? What are the real opportunities to improve? Once you've got those, you can actually agree actions. What are you going to do? What are you going to do differently in the next sprint? Once you've got the actions, you can close the retrospective. Now, the way most teams do retrospectives is incredibly bad, because there are a lot of incredibly bad Scrum Masters out there. And what they do is they do the same thing each retrospective. What went well? What went bad? What should we change? What went well? What went badly? What should we change? And they do that every retrospective, and that's the only activity they do. Read the Darby and Larson book, get a copy of it. It's $20, for God's sake, on Pragmatic Programmers. As an electronic book, get as an e-book. And it's not got DRM, stop video in it. $20 on Pragmatic Programmers. And if they issue an update, you get the update automatically. And there's no DRM protection. Okay, it's going to have to be edited out. Each of these phases of the retrospective requires a different activity. What went well, what didn't go well, what should we change is one activity which applies in one phase of the retrospective at most. A good retrospective should take at least an hour. You need different activities. The Darby and Larson book, they give you a suggestion of 12 different activities for each phase of the retrospective. If you did 10 minutes on each of the 5 phases and a couple of minutes of transition time between phases, that's an hour. Yeah? Some of the activities work really well with distributed teams. Some of the phases, you might actually say, if you've got a distributed team, give one location one activity to do, another location another activity to do. And then when they come back, you can merge the results. You'll get more rich data. You know, if you're doing that in the gathered data, you'll get richer data if you let people focus on working with people in their own locality, and you use different activities at the same time. One of the things for creating a safe environment, everyone needs to speak in the first 10 minutes, and without being judged. If somebody doesn't speak in the first 10 minutes, they get the message that it's okay to not speak. So let's try a little experiment while the camera's rolling. One of the activities that Darby and Larson suggest for getting everyone to speak in the first 10 minutes is, if the last sprint was a car, what type of car would it be? Obviously you don't have to use cars, you can use anything. But if this training course was a car, what type of car would it be?
Comfortable. Control is comfortable.
Or
Car which can fly. That can be driven. Rolls Royce.
Comfortable car.
Thought provoking.
there you go, everyone's spoken, nobody's been judged. Now you all know it's okay to speak, even those who were reluctant to speak. You know it's okay, you know you're not being judged. Yeah? Don't go back and judge afterwards. It's important to get people speaking, get people talking. I've seen some appalling behaviour from Scrum Masters in retrospectives. I saw one, or I heard of one, per se, from somebody in his team, the same team. The team walked into the room, sat down, and the Scrum Master opened the retrospective by saying, has anyone got anything negative to say in this retrospective? A couple of people put their hands up and he said, would you mind leaving? I don't want negative in this week. exclude some of the team for the retrospective just because they've got things that they actually think the team can improve. How crazy would that be? The same Scrum team, in one of their retrospectives, they were discussing actions that they could do. And one of the programmers sat there and said, well, I think we should focus more about what we want as a team and a lot less about what this business wants. Who are you there to add value to? One ScrumMaster suggested to the team in the retrospective that they should make a change. And he asked them to vote on it. And they voted against it. So he spent the next half hour explaining to them why he was right and they were wrong. And then he asked them to vote again. And they voted against it. So he spent the next hour explaining to them why he was right and they were wrong. And he asked them to vote again. And they voted against it. And after 4.5 hours of him telling them why he was right and they were wrong and asking them to vote, 4.5 hours into the retrospective, he asked them to vote, and they all voted to make the change just so that they could get out the room. They never made the change. The same ScrumMaster made a suggestion to the team partway through a sprint, and half the team agreed with him and half didn't. And when it came to the retrospective, as people walked in, he said, oh, you said that side of the room, you said that side, you said that side, you said that, you said that side, you said that side. And when everyone was sat down, everyone who agreed with him was on one side of the room, and everyone who disagreed with him was on the other side of the room. One of the people in that team came up to me afterwards, who I knew him really well, and he was completely perplexed. He came and said, Ian, I've just been put on the naughty step, and so have half my team. Ooh, you must have been a very naughty boy. What did you do? He said, oh, I disagreed with the ScrumMaster. Crazy. Crazy. But incredibly easy to kill safely. Yeah? Not all the people facilitate the retrospective. That's why we do all the time with ScrumMaster. Not all the people have a go. Help them. Coach them as to what you expect of them. So you can get other people to see to it. Yeah? So you've got the daily scrum as the inspector of that loop for the sprint backlog for the plan. You've got the sprint review as the inspector of that loop for the product. And you've got the retrospective as the inspector of that loop for the team. They are the three big inspector of that loops. Any questions on the retrospective? Well, that's it. There are some useful books. There'll be some more on the book list on Dropbox. We'll recap. We talked about teams. We talked about what we fix, what we don't fix. And again,